Jack London, The Little Lady of the Big House, Part 37. It was in the day prior to large salaried football coaches, when individual play meant much, but he hammered team work and the sacrifice of the individual into his team, so that on Thanksgiving Day, over a vastly more brilliant 11, the blue and gold was able to serpentine its triumph down Market Street in San Francisco. In his postgraduate year in Cow College, Dick devoted himself to laboratory work and cut all lectures. In fact, he hired his own lectures and spent a sizable fortune on them in mere traveling expenses over California. Jacques Ribot is deemed one of the greatest world authorities on agricultural chemistry, who had been seduced from his 2,000 a year in France by the 6,000 offered by the University of California, who had been seduced to Hawaii by the 10,000 of the sugar planters Dick Forrest seduced with 15,000, and the more delectable temperate climate of California on a 5-year contract. Messrs. Crockett, Slocum, and Davidson threw up their hands in horror and knew that this was the wild career Dick Forrest had forecast. But this was only one of Dick Forrest's similar dissipations. He stole from the federal government at a prodigal increase of salary its star specialist in livestock breeding, and by similar misconduct he robbed the University of Nebraska of its greatest milch cow professor and broke the heart of the Dean of the College of Agriculture of the University of California by appropriating Professor Niederhammer the visit of farm management. Cheap at the price, cheap at the price, Dick explained to his guardians. Wouldn't you rather see me spend my money in buying professors than in buying race horses and actresses? Besides, the trouble with you fellows is that you don't know the game of buying brains. I do. That's my specialty. I'm going to make money out of them, and better than that, I'm going to make a dozen blades of grass grow where you fellows didn't leave room for half a blade in the soil you gutted. So it can be understood how his guardians could not believe in his promise of wild career of kissing and risking and hitting men hot on the job. One year more he worked while he delved in agricultural chemistry, soil analysis, farm management, and traveled California with his corps of high-salaried experts, and his guardians could only apprehend a swift and wide dispersal of the forest millions when Dick attained his majority, took charge of the totality of his fortune, and actually embarked on his agricultural folly. The day he was 21, the purchase of his principality that extended west from the Sacramento River to the mountain tops was consummated. An incredible price, said Mr. Crockett. Incredibly cheap, said Dick. You ought to see my soil reports. You ought to see my water reports. And you ought to hear me sing. Listen, guardians, to a song that is a true song. I'm the singer and the song. whereupon in the quivering falsetto that is the tense of song to the North American Indian, the Eskimo, and the Mongol Dick sang.